English right now?
So.
Okay, so let's continue. Stand by
Yes.
so you can learn more. Okay, hello and welcome everybody. So my name is Olena Korolova. I am from Mariupol Secondary School number 47, and I like to call myself a crazy teacher. So today we'll talk about the second conditional, and we'll talk about natural disasters, because we are trying to be eco-friendly as much as possible. So let's go. If you were with us during the block of the 9th formers, you mentioned that I am very, like IT-oriented person. So I would like to check your presence, first of all. So I would like you to grab your mobile phones, your gadgets, and go to menti.com, where you have to enter the code. So the code for you is 927063. You can see it on the board as well, behind my back. And you have to submit the number of your school so that we know who is present and what school pupils are present from what schools. So one more time, go to menti.com, it's right here, and enter the code that you can see, and hopefully we can see who is present. So let's go. Menti. Probably it works. Okay. So yes, we have 9 people who voted. We can see the Technical Lyceum representatives, school number 8. Hello, Sartana. We have representatives from school 66, 64, 41, 29, 14, 66, like the majority, Technical Lyceum, 65, 5, 64, 14, 53, a lot of, yes, hello everybody. So where is my native school? Where is school number 47? Come on guys, aren't you watching? Mariupol Technical Lyceum, okay, 31 votes, yes, we can see even Russian people writing, okay, yes, we can see that. Thank you very much for everybody who voted, and let's go and look at some conditionals. So, yes, so why do you need the second conditional? You need the second conditional because you can use it for talking about an unlikely or unreal situations. So something that is quite improbable or may happen, but it's like not very likely. So you can see some examples on the board. So please grab your pens, your pencils, some notebooks, so you can write. If you traveled less because of me, I'd feel worse. If I had the opportunity to visit places like that, I wouldn't complain. So these are the examples of the second conditional. So let's see how it's formed. To form a second conditional, you need an if plus past simple, and then you use would plus infinitive. So make sure that you write everything down. One more time, it's if plus past simple and would plus infinitive. To make negatives, of course, you can use the negative form of past simple, or you can just say wouldn't to make like this clause negative. And of course, you can ask questions using the second conditional. So let's see. Can you change the order of the clauses round? Yes, and we leave out the comma in the middle of the sentence if the order is changed round. For example, if we use bicycles, we would have less air pollution. And that's again one eco-friendly advice, use bicycles. Or you can say we would have less air pollution if we used bicycles. So you can see that these sentences are interchangeable, so no big difference here, but if you start with an if, then you have to use a comma. And if you change the clauses, then no comma is needed. So basically these are 2 examples that I would like you to write down so that we can practice it more. So, and right now I would like you to practice. You have to make up sentences using the following phrases as an example. So the example is, if we use bicycles, we would have less air pollution. I'm not sure if you can see it, okay? So I have prepared 3 prompts from Oksana Karpyuk textbook for the 10th form. So you have drive electric cars, hello Elon Musk, you have use less paper, and not to cut the forests. So make sure that you write 3 examples using the second conditional. Again, one more time, if we used bicycles, we would have less air pollution. In the first part, in the first clause, we use if plus past simple, and in the second, we use would plus infinitive, like would have. So take your time, write some of the examples, and again, I would like you to submit your answers to menti.com, and we'll change the code for that. Hold on a second, I'll write it. So you have a next and new code, 1969-89. So you can go to menti.com and you have to submit your answers. So one more time, Menti, this is the code, 1969-89, and hopefully we'll see your answers to these 3 examples. So make sure you write your own examples. I'm showing these: drive electric cars, use less paper, not to cut the forests. So yes. And I would really like to ask you not to write anything silly, but just practice. Let's have a look if it works. Okay, no. Make sure that you write valid examples and not something like that. So one more time, I show you the sentences and where to submit them. Drive electric cars, use less paper, not to cut the forest. Make sure you use some valid examples. If we used bicycles, we would have less air pollution. We'll check your answers a little bit later. So let's continue. So let's revise the vocabulary. For your vocabulary, I'm sure that right now you're on the topic natural disasters, and I found a really cool website that I would like you to go to and practice together with me. So if you can scan the QR code, you can do it right now and go directly to this website, and I'll do it like that. And hopefully it works and we can practice. Okay. So yes, this is like the website I'm recommending. I'm not sure if it works okay. Let's give it a go. So you can see the word, you can see the picture, and we can practice some vocabulary here. I move here. Okay, hurricane. There is no sound, unfortunately, but still I can pronounce it for you. So you can see hurricane. So a commercial comes down. No, we don't need it. So a hurricane is a large circular storm with strong winds. So this is what a hurricane is. Tornado, you can see it on the picture. So a tornado is an extremely strong winds concentrated in one area. So you can see what tornado is. Lightning, who likes the lightnings? Thor does. So when the lightning touches a building, tree, car, or person, we say they have been struck by lightning. So you can see this natural phenomenon, which can be quite disastrous. Oh, forest fires. Forest fires, who remembers which country had like major forest fires? Yes, that was Australia. The whole continent was on fire. So you understand what the forest fire is. An earthquake can be quite disastrous. So in an earthquake, the ground shakes and cracks. And buildings that are not designed to survive earthquakes are often destroyed. So it's a good idea, you know, that when you have an earthquake, you have to like run away from the building real quick and make sure that you are quite far away from the building, because it can be destroyed and fall down. So the flood is an interesting word because it's like blood, where you can see double O, but you pronounce it like ah. So flood is when it rains a lot and the water in the river gets so high that it overflows the riverbanks and invades surrounding areas. So that is what flood is all about. Okay. So let's continue with the tsunami. Fortunately, we don't have tsunami in Mariupol or in Ukraine, but a lot of countries suffer from that. So in a tsunami, the water from the ocean comes in and covers the land, and tsunamis are caused by an earthquake in the middle of the ocean. I guess you know which country suffers from tsunami most. Yes, right you are. It's Japan, because like they have a lot of tidal waves and tsunamis in Japan. So another interesting word for us is draft, and it's like the word that you pronounce a little bit differently. So it's when there is not enough water because it hasn't rained for a lot time. You know, a lot of countries suffer from droughts. It can be like South Africa or Africa in general. They even suffer from droughts in LA, in the United States of America, so when it gets really dry. So yes, make sure you do not waste water. Make sure when you brush your teeth that you close the tap down so that everybody has enough water. So the blizzard is something that we haven't experienced for a long time. It's a very strong snowstorm. So of course winters right now are like much more milder. It's like warm in the winter and we don't have blizzards often. Another phenomenon is avalanche, and an avalanche is when a lot of snow falls down from the side of a mountain. You know what they say, when you go into the mountains, it's not a good idea like to shout or scream because you can produce the avalanche and you will be covered with the snow. So never shout in the mountains because it can happen to you, or at least they show it in the movies. So another natural disaster is a landslide or a mudslide. So a landslide or a mudslide is when the soil, rocks and or mud falls down the side of a hill or a mountain. So yeah, it's not very pleasant when you have that. Volcanic eruption. I'm sure that everybody knows or heard about the city of Pompeii in Italy, which was actually crushed down completely by the volcano called Vesuvius, and yes, Vesuvius. When the volcano explodes, the event is called a volcanic eruption. So make sure that you are safe, make sure that you stay away from those natural disasters and that you protect yourself from them. Okay, so let's see what else I've got for you. So that was the revision of the vocabulary, and right now you can write down some sentences using this vocabulary. Hopefully you can use the second conditional for that as well. And well, yes, I've prepared the Kahoot for you. I'm not sure if you have enough time, probably next time, Kahoot. So, and where can you learn more? Of course, to practice your conditionals, you can go to the British Council website, which you can see on screen. It's called learnenglishteen.britishcouncil.org, and you can go to grammar section, you can choose the intermediate grammar, and you can practice your conditionals further. So if you can scan the QR code, it would be nice. And again, learning about climate changes, learning about like natural disasters and phenomenon, you can go to learnenglishteens.britishcouncil.org, and you go to study break, you go to the video zone, and you watch the school strikes for climate. Probably you know the most famous person who did the school strike for climate. That was Greta Thunberg, who is the person who was on Times magazine. So thank you for your participation, thank you for being active, thank you for staying at home and wearing masks and washing your hands for at least 20 seconds. Remember those recommendations. And I wish you the best of luck with everything. Learn English. English is so cool.
Дякуємо вам, пані Олено, за такі прекрасні сьогоднішні уроки. Будемо чекати зустрічі з вами і надалі.